On to Australia now, where the Prime Minister Scott Morrison has defended the shutdown of the nation's second largest city of Melbourne. The Prime Minister also assured continuing financial support for businesses that fear that they will not be able to survive another lockdown, the second lockdown. Melbourne and parts of the surrounding areas will be under a lockdown for 6 weeks from tonight because of the rate of the virus spread. Cafes, bars, restaurants and gyms will be closed down and residents will be confined to their homes except for essential business activities. There were 75 occupants of 9 public housing towers among the new COVID-19 cases today. They were earlier this week placed into a complete lockdown, barring their 3,000 residents from leaving their homes for 5 days. The Australian Prime Minister has asked the residents to remain strong amid the return of the harsh virus restrictions. Scott Morrison has called for unity in these tough times.
It's happening in Melbourne now. Of course, there's always the risk it could happen in other cities, and every step is being taken to seek to prevent that wherever possible. But we're all Melburnians now when it comes to the challenges we face. We're all Victorians now because we're all Australians, and that's where the challenge is right now.
Victoria reported 134 new cases today, down from the previous day's record 191, but well over the low single-digit daily increases of the country's other 7 states and territories. Huge concern there. Victoria's borders with neighbouring states have also been closed down to prevent the spread of the virus. At the Victoria and New South Wales border, police checkpoints caused delays of more than an hour for the drivers. The state line is heavily trafficked by daily commuters who frequent the same for commuting and live and work on either side. Authorities had hastily set up a system to issue travel permits for a select group, but a website created to dispense passes crashed soon after its launch. Victoria's only other internal border with South Australia has been closed since mid-March.
On the issue of the broader shutdown of Melbourne, this is a matter that the Premier advised me of, and of course, based on their advice and the advice that I've received from the Chief Medical Officer, then this was necessary. I hope it isn't for that long. I hope it's for as short a period as possible. But given the seriousness of the issue and the containment that was occurring in the initial postcodes and what was occurring there, that this was a more practical measure in the Premier's view and the advice that he had received.
Red flags have been raised by potential quarantine breaches. In fact, Victorian state government officials believing these breaches by returnees led to the spread of the virus itself. Officials have started an inquiry as well. Morrison said that he would be taking a proposal to a national cabinet of state and territory leaders on Friday. A number of repatriation flights may be reduced to cut down the number of new virus cases arriving in the country. The Prime Minister is seeking to slow down the return of Australian citizens and permanent residents back to the country with the aim of reducing the burden on hotel quarantines.
The issue is what the overall level of returning Australians are, and that's why I'll be bringing a proposal on Friday to reduce that load, which means that's a lesser load for everybody rather than shifting Western Australia's load onto someone else.
Australia has reported about 9,000 COVID-19 cases and 106 deaths from the coronavirus till now.